Testing 1 2, mic 1 2. Testing commentator, mic 1 2.
Hello, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to this Irish Examiner live stream broadcast on a historic evening in the Kerry Senior Football Championship here in Dingle. In just under 20 minutes' time, Templenoe will make their debut in the top tier of Kingdom football, having completed a remarkable rise through the ranks in recent years. Facing them are a Dingle side who are seasoned campaigners in the competition, but are desperate to end their 72-year wait since their last title. There's star power on the two sides here tonight with big names and big reputations, and I'm delighted to have plenty of star power alongside me here in the commentary box with two former Kerry greats, Eamon Fitzmaurice and Diarmuid Murphy, who will be joining me in a few minutes time. But first, let's check in with the two camps. A little earlier this week I spoke with our two managers, Templenoe's John Rice, but first let's hear from Dingle boss Padraig Corcoran.
Now we're heading to Dingle next, and I'm delighted to welcome the Dingle manager, Padraig Corcoran. Unfortunately, our satellite uplink not working tonight, so we don't have Padraig on screen, but we have his dulcet tones anyway. Padraig, usually in the build-up to Kerry's championship games, there's a great buzz around a town like Dingle. What has it been like in the last couple of days and weeks?
There's a great crowd around Dingle, Colm. It's just, I suppose, it's a bit strange because we're all trying to, well, a lot of us are trying to stay away from traffic or from other people, so we're keeping our distance. There's a good buzz around the town, but as regards, you're not meeting the people that you'd normally meet. You wouldn't meet the same people that you meet on a normal training evening above in the sports field, and you're not out and mixing with people around the town, so you don't come across a lot of the ordinary people are supporters as well, so it's a bit different from that point of view.
In terms of you as a manager and all the rules and regulations around COVID-19, what is the message that you've been giving to players and to squad members over the last couple of weeks?
I suppose when we returned to training, Colm, it was just to be careful and just to mind themselves and just take the precautions that were recommended by the government. The players have been very good. Shane O'Rourke, our COVID officer, is keeping an eye on all the forms and making sure everything is done properly. And then the players, as I say, have been excellent in treating everything, taking everything seriously, and they come up and they don't use the dressing room and they come togged and they go away afterwards. So we're just trying to be sensible in our approach.
Now, one of the great things in Kerry, Padraig, has been the fact that you have the club championship, which this year has been almost like a pre-season tournament for the county championship.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been great preparation, I suppose, coming into the county championship, to have 3 games in a row over 3 weekends, and then to have the break of a 2-week break now to the county championship, so it gives teams a chance to get bodies right and to get fellas back in the field, and we hope that will be good preparation for the county championship this evening.
How have you and the players found that quick turnaround between matches? As you said, with the club championship, it was week after week after week.
It's been enjoyable. I mean, I think the players look forward to playing the games. I think that, I suppose that's the reason we do all the training, and to have game upon game upon game has been excellent. I suppose you miss the county league in the sense that fellas might get more of an opportunity to use more of your panel. That coming into the county championship, it might have been, if you had a few extra weeks where fellas could play another couple of games, maybe county league games as well. But no, we can't complain. We're delighted with it.
Of course, the counter and all of that, then, Padraig, from your perspective, is access to Kerry players, like looking right across your team between minor, under 20, of course, Tom and Paul Ganey as well, two senior players. You know, it's such a great thing for clubs in the last couple of weeks to have their county players week in, week out.
It's been fantastic, Colm. I think all club managers would agree. They really drive the standard of training, and they're excellent. We're very fortunate with the lads we have, in not alone Paul and Tom, but also the likes of Mikey Ganey, who's coming back from being with the county for the last 8, 9, 10 years, has been fantastic in driving things. And they just bring up the standard, and the lads have such admiration for them. And it just gives everybody a lift at training. So it's great to have them on board. Okay, now finally it's Templenoe, an unknown force in a way. This, of course, being their debut in the senior championship, and I'm sure wouldn't they love to take a big scalp down in Dingle as well to mark the occasion? I'm sure they would, Colm. No, they wouldn't be an unknown force. We'd have encountered them in county league games over the last few years. They've been very successful in, competing in 3 intermediate finals over the last few years. A lot of their players have competed in the county final back in 2016. They've had All-Ireland success, winning the junior and also winning a Munster title at intermediate level. So that we know, we're under no illusion that we understand the strength of the Templenoe team coming this evening, and hopefully we'll do enough to get ourselves through to the next round. No, I'm delighted to have John Rice, manager of Templenoe, joining us from a stormy Kerry on this Thursday, looking ahead to tonight's game. John, historic, I suppose, is the word that I would associate with this weekend for Templenoe. First senior championship game. Did you ever believe that this was going to be possible? No, not before this crop of players came along. I suppose, having seen them win junior and win intermediate, or try to win intermediate for a number of years, the potential was there. This is an exceptional group of players that have come through, and it's great to see them fulfilling that potential. No, I'm sure every club in the country that starts out in the lower tiers has dreams of making it to senior championship grade. How much of it is good fortune? How much of it is good preparation? How much of it is forward planning? I think from the club point of view, it's first and foremost around the talent. We have an exceptional group of, I suppose our total panel, we have 24, 25 guys training. Now they include a number of young fellas. But this group of players have come together at the right time. Down through the years, I suppose we'd always have 2 or 3 individuals that always played county championship with Kenmare district and that. But this group of players came along at the right time, exceptional talent, 4 inter-county players, and a number of them have played junior, minor at that. So it's great, fantastic. No. Yeah, you mentioned there are 4 inter-county players. Like, any club would be delighted to have that, but from a catchment area like Templenoe, that is really the bedrock of your team. It is, of course, yeah, and I mean it's an exception at any time for that to happen. A small rural club, like I say, we've very small numbers, and it's a great achievement by the lads, and it's just reward for the dedication and effort that they have put in down through the years. Now, in terms of COVID, has it been a blessing in disguise in some ways, John, in the fact that you have access to those county players on a more regular basis? And I'm wondering as well, are more and more lads working from home that would possibly have been up in Dublin or in Cork or away? Yeah, no, and that's definitely true. We've had access to the lads. They've been back in playing with the group and training with the group, which is very important. I mean, normally we don't see these guys. I think last year in the county league, I don't think Clyde Morley played any county league game with us. The other guys probably played 1, max 2. So we just don't see them in the course of the year. And it's great. It's great to have them back in. And I think they're enjoying it themselves, training back with the lads again. As for working, Cork is our main base. Actually, we have fellas in college and working in Cork. Now, I'd say all but one of them are working remotely at the moment. So yeah, they're back in the locality, and I suppose from that point of view, COVID has been good to them, and
bringing everybody back home, and you get that sense of belonging again,
Okay, well, you've had the club championship in the last couple of weeks. Bit of heartbreak though there for you. A wry smile I see from you, John.
Yeah, no, that was a learning experience on our behalf. I mean, our first year ever senior. I suppose the fact that we came into it a bit cold, it didn't help us either. We were missing Tyg through injury for all bar 10 minutes of the last game. That was a big loss to us. A small rural club, we just can't afford to be missing anybody. Because it doesn't, any few people missing doesn't allow you to make changes. It limits the whole thing of the game now. It's subs play a vital part now in all the games. So from that point of view, I suppose we Crokes in the first game probably gave them a bit too much respect. We had a great battle with our near neighbours, Kenmare. We're nearly out the gate there, but got caught right at the end again. Another lesson to learn. And the last day against Rallies, the score kind of flattered. They got 2 goals near the end. They had a good start. But other than that, we were competitive for a good portion of that game. So, yeah, I suppose it's all about trying to retain that senior status now and learn from it and give it another year if we can.
Okay, finally, a nice start to your county championship life away to Dingle. I don't think the cards were too keen for you.
No, and look, that's part of I suppose the beauty of the county championship. I remember actually making my own county championship debut for the Khmer district back there as a young fella. So you get around the county, you're playing the best teams. It's that's the challenge of it, whether it's in Dingle or it's Austin Stack Park or Killarney, it doesn't really matter. It's just a pity that the new COVID restrictions, nobody's going to be there to witness it. And again, many thanks to yourselves for the live streaming. It's an important lifeline back into our small community below, because most of the people in Templenoe travel to games and are avid supporters of us, and having this opportunity to see it online is great. It's fantastic and well done.
Yeah, but on that point, John, for a club like Templenoe, people steeped in the club and the history of the club and this historic moment, it must be a night of mixed emotions for you and for so many others that can't be there.
It is, without doubt, and a small rural club like us, we wouldn't need many more than the 40 normal invites we have. But I mean, they're true blues, they're supporters, they're the people that, as young fellas, trained us and took us to matches, and have been there every step of the way, from through juvenile games all the way up through junior intermediate, have been to Cork Park with us and the junior setup. So it's heartbreaking, and it's heartbreaking for family members, parents and stuff. It's tough times, but look, at least they can see it online now, which is great.
And our thanks to the two managers for their time over the course of the week. Right, let's pull up the team news that we have. We'll start with the Dingle team appearing on your screen there. Just running through it very quickly. David O'Connor in goals, Tom Leo O'Sullivan, Patrick O'Connor, Micheál Flannery in the full back line. It's Aidan O'Connor. Then Mikey O'Boyle wearing 17 is in instead of Brondon Kelleher at centre back. Tom O'Sullivan, Kerry Starr is at wing back. Barry and Darragh O'Sullivan, the O'Sullivan brothers, at midfield. Ruan McCarthy, Mikey Gainey, Matthew Flaherty, the half forward line. Dylan Gainey, Paul Gainey and Conor Gainey, the full forward line. Delighted to have two men that know this part of the world very well. Former Dingle footballer Dermot Murphy and the local principal Eamon Fitzmaurice. Gents, your thoughts there on that Dingle lineup?
Yeah, a loss to Dingle, definitely. Brondon O'Kelleher. Brondon has been playing great football for Dingle all year long in the club championship, and he's going to be a loss tonight, especially in the conditions. Dingle need all the physicality they can get in the middle third, and he is definitely going to be a loss. But Mikey Boyle will come in, no doubt, and do a good job. He's played most of the matches so far and played county final a couple of years ago for Dingle, so he'll be well able to get in there and do a good job for us. Okay,
obviously Dermot, you know the lay of the land here the last couple of weeks. Decent enough display in the club championship, unlucky not to make the knockout stage.
Yeah, very good in the club championship, to be fair. First game against Stacks over known as Scald. Dingle were 8 points down. with 5 minutes to go in the first half and managed to get a draw out of that game, which was an excellent result, really, all things considered. Very good win against Legion here in the second game, and a good win over against Kilcummin. And a bit unfortunate, really, on score difference not to make the final, but that's how it was. But there's a bit of momentum coming into the county championship. Looking forward to seeing how they do tonight.
Massive boost having their county players available full time to them. But there's county talent right throughout this team in terms of minor, under 20, and of course the senior stars as well.
There was a lot of great work done underage with us over the last decade, and I think we're seeing the rewards of that now on our senior team. And we have a lot of good players all over the field, but you know, they need to perform as well on the day, and that's what tonight is going to be all about. Okay, the Dingle team just completing their warm-up down in front of us and putting on their jerseys. We'll pull up the Templenoe team there for you next. Let's run through that. Mark Looney is the goalkeeper. Mike Hallisey is on your screen. He's not playing. Number 18, Tom Spillane, will be slotting in at cornerback. Tyg Morley, this was the big talking point. Would Tyg Morley be fit? He's starting at full back. Kieran O'Neill will be left corner. The half back line, Martin Riley, Gavin Crowley, John Rice. Midfield then is Sean Sheehan and Adrian Spillane. Half forward line, Teddy Doyle, who's also the captain of the side, Brian Crowley and Josh Crowley Holland. And the full forward line is Stephen O'Sullivan, Killian Spillane and another Crowley, that's Colin Crowley, who will be wearing number 15. And Eamon will bring you in on the Templenoe team news, and as I mentioned there, the fact Tyg Morley is down to start is a massive boost for them.
It is. It's huge for them, Colm. He's been a big miss for them so far this year, and they were competitive in all of the club championship games, but they weren't quite getting it over the line. And when you have a player of Tyg's experience and quality missing, particularly for a rural club where you need everybody, he has been a big miss. And I think there's some late team news there in the Dingle side as well, Colm, that Barry O'Sullivan, the midfield, isn't actually starting. Billy O'Connor is starting instead of him now. Billy's a good battler as well, but obviously Barry is a loss to Dingle not starting. He's togged off all right and he's moving around there, but he isn't starting anyway.
Huge loss indeed. Let's go back to Templenoe. We mentioned Tyg Morley. Mentioned as well, though, in the preamble that this is a historic night for the club. First ever senior championship game, but the threat of relegation is already looming for them.
That's it, and that can happen where you come up from intermediate and you're full of momentum, and you find that it is a step up, and particularly when you're playing one of the big boys in the county championship, the level, intermediate to the lower levels in senior, we'll say, is quite close. But to go from intermediate to one of the top teams at the senior level, it's going to be a big test of them tonight. Historic night, like you said, but they won't be thinking about that now. They'll only want to win, and Dingle probably have a bit of an advantage there. They've been at this level for a good few years now. They're used to it. All of their players are used to it, and even the younger lads coming in will be guided by the more experienced players.
Okay, we have to mention the fact tonight the new protocols from the government in play here. No spectators. We just have the teams, their squads, and the media here. A very kind of a strange scenario for a county championship game.
It is very strange, and the Aran Navian is starting there now.
The PA operators here in Dingle keen to get us underway. 2 minutes before official starting time, national anthem being played out. Brendan Brosnan is our referee here this evening. It has been a pretty miserable West Kerry afternoon, rain falling throughout since lunchtime has thankfully lifted a bit. Pitch obviously going to be quite heavy after Storm Ellen during the week and the rainfall today, but as I said, thankfully conditions improving a slight bit here. So vote of confidence from Eamon towards Dingle. I presume Diarmuid is a former custodian and former star. You're not going to go against your old buddies?
No, I think Dingle will be favourites for the game tonight. Definitely home field advantage is a big advantage for Dingle here. Just awarding the conditions here, anybody who's used to it here, the breeze usually blows up towards Marion Park, but today it's coming more across the field. It's still favouring the team going up towards the Marion Park direction, but it is more across the field than it usually otherwise would be.
Okay, just confirming Eamon's team news there that Billy O'Connor is the man wearing number 22. He's the guy at the front of your screen for Dingle. Just to the right of Brendan Brosnan as you're looking out. Brendan looking around, making sure that everyone is in place, and we're off and underway in this incredibly historic night for Templenoe Football Club as they begin life in the Kerry Senior Football Championship, and they're starting with Brian Crowley and the opening score from him after just under 30 seconds.
Great start for Templenoe, very direct, got the ball straight into Brian. He seems to be playing inside in the full forward line, and he took on his man, took on Micheál Flannery and beat him and kicked a great point for Templenoe. Great start for them.
Yeah, and as we said, it's a momentous night in this Garvey Super Value Kerry Senior Football Championship Round 1 clash, and let's just say that Templenoe may be the underdogs, maybe the new boys, but they've sprung from the traps with that opening score. It's Aidan O'Connor was the man there in possession. Nice interplay there out to his midfielder to Darragh O'Sullivan. Great ball by O'Sullivan into the man wearing number 12. That's Matthew Flaherty. Flaherty, nice ball into the corner towards Conor Gainey. Spills out from him, but Dingle recycling it, aiming it in towards Paul Gainey, but well taken there by the centre back on this occasion, and that was Gavin Crowley. Know each other, of course, so well from their county commitments. Tom Spillane straight through the hands there. The intention was good. Mikey Gainey's ball, well read there again though by Gavin Crowley, who's impressing in the opening few minutes here. Sean Sheehan, big workhorse of the Templenoe side. Kieran O'Neill out as far as John Rice. He's uncle of the same name as the Templenoe manager. His father Kevin, of course, a former Kerry minor. Gavin Crowley again on the ball, as impressed in the opening few minutes here, being held up there though by Conor Gainey. Nice interplay with Tyke Morley. No options opening up for him as Kieran O'Leary has been harassed and pushed back by Mikey Gainey, but must say confident play though by Templenoe, going through the hands. Huge confidence in their abilities. Don't think that was the intended target, but I don't think there was any complaints there as Templenoe have the ball there with Colin Crowley. Crowley's ball though shot to nothing and easily taken by David O'Connor, the Dingle goalkeeper.
Yeah, interesting start to the game. Tyke Morley's picking up Paul Gainey, and Gavin Crowley's gone back on Connor, so those battles inside could be pivotal, Colin.
Yeah, lots of chopping and changing, and as I mentioned in the introduction, lots of big name talent and star power here tonight. Getting to know you in the first 5 or 6 minutes. Ball obviously quite slippery, but no bother to the man in possession there. Tom O'Sullivan wins the free easily, and Mikey Gainey opts to take it quickly. Or as far as Ruan McCarthy, and now all the way out there to Mikey O'Boyle, the man that came on in place of Brondon Kelleher. Billy O'Connor, nice little interplay with O'Sullivan. A great catch there off the left, and that is a great score by Dylan Gainey down there in the corner, but great work by Billy O'Connor and a great delivery.
Yeah, excellent from Dylan. Since he's been a young fella, he'd be down on the pitch kicking the whole time, bag of footballs nearly every evening after school, and great eye for a score, well won. Dingle could look to put it in a bit quicker, alright. They're slow in the middle third, but good measured ball inside in the end there.
Teddy Doyle, the captain, with the delivery in there as far as looked to be Brian Crowley again. Nice offload from Crowley, but the shot that was taken in the end by Crowley has sailed off and sailed wide. About 4 minutes gone here. Good kick out by the goalkeeper O'Connor, given the conditions. Looked to have touched Sheehan last, and the linesman concurs with that decision. And it's going to be Dara O'Sullivan with the sideline kick. Great ball in as far as Gainey pats it down to Matthew Flaherty wearing that nose bandage. Fisted pass by him. Ruan McCarthy is the man onto it. Bruiser, as he's known locally. Great ball in as far as Gainey. Out in front of his county colleague Tig Morley, who gets a hand onto it but can't prevent the flight of it. Works all the way back to Paul Gainey again. Gainey not fancying his chances from that distance with the wind. Loses possession, and Templenoe coming out again with the centre back on this occasion, Gavin Crowley. Not for the first or second time tonight. Blocks getting in. Tig Morley. Morley had a hamstring injury. He was the big doubt before this game. Great ball by Morley in as far as Josh Crowley-Holland on that far wing, looking for a target man, and that target man is the full forward, Killian Spillane. Spillane off his left. That's going to be some effort by Spillane, but unfortunately it's gone wide. For a second there, the umpire looked like he was going to award a score, but has trailed off and trailed wide.
Great effort by Killian there, a little bit unlucky. Interesting to see the Dingle forwards working very, very hard when Templenoe are in possession and trying to slow them up, but Templenoe worked the ball up the field well there, and Killian had a good chance to get a score there, but didn't happen for
Mikey Gainey and Tom O'Sullivan combining there. Good kick out by the goalkeeper, switching wings. Billy O'Connor losing it there, and it's been bundled away by Teddy Doyle trying to get onto it, eventually being helped there by Adrian Spillane, and forced to go all the way back as the conditions really starting to worsen here in Dingle. Nice little jink there by Brian Crowley. Still Crowley, he's got Sheehan inside him. Sheehan, the midfielder, opts to give it to the man who is more akin to scoring, and he does just that, and it's first point of the night for Killian Spillane.
Great score by Killian. He wasn't going to miss two in a row. Bad turnover there from Dingle in the middle of the field. Very bad turnover, and Templenoe capitalised and got the score. Just with Dingle, they're a little bit ponderous on the ball, as Eamon said earlier on. There are opportunities to get the ball into the forwards a little quicker. I know they're playing into the breeze, but they could still go through the half forward line a little bit more. But early days yet.
Early days yet, yes. As we said, the conditions worsening here, so apologies there, as the screen images just due to the rain that's coming right across the field into our commentary position here in Dingle, and a huge thanks to the Dingle Club for facilitating us here this evening for this Garvey's Super Value Kerry SFC round one clash. They've been extremely helpful, Brondon and the team here over the last 48 hours. So will they be celebrating later this evening? Well, at the moment they're behind 2 points to 1, but they are in possession. Well, they were, because it's Templenoe that have it now with Sean Sheehan. Workhorse of a midfielder, Sean Sheehan. Great ball by him, and under pressure there was looked to be Spillane, and he's got a nudge in the back, but referee claimed, and the linesman concurs, that he last touched the ball and knocked it out for a sideline.
Some great grafting there by Teddy Doyle in the middle of the field. Won a turnover there for Templenoe. Very strong play from him.
Out in front of us here was Patrick O'Connor. It takes a heavy blow to the back. Referee, though, allowing play to continue. Eventually it's back as far as Tom O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan's delivery in as far as Conor Gainey. Gainey going to his full forward to Paul Gainey. Looking for the return there, but well cut out by Templenoe, and it's back with Sean Sheehan. Getting through a mountain of work there. Nice interplay there by Templenoe with Josh Crowley-Holland. Kick and hope though, and tracked all the way back by Ruan McCarthy. Screaming in front of us here is Mikey Gainey. He's the man that's just in possession now, and there's an open field in front of him. Opts to go across towards Tom O'Sullivan. They're all going through the hands here. Now it's Paul Gainey. That's the 45-yard line he's just after taking from about 30 yards. Gainey, has he judged the conditions? No, he hasn't. The ball has sailed wide out onto the main road, I'd say. and that just gives you an indication of how testing the conditions are here. Tyke Morley.
Yeah, it's clear, Colm. Diarmid mentioned it there already, that both sets of forwards are working really hard to keep the pressure on. Dingle or Templenoe came out a bit earlier there. It's back to you there now.
Colin Crowley with the shot. Crowley off his right. It's hanging, and it's taken there. Looked to be Aidan O'Connor that came back, as David O'Connor was watching that all the way. Tom O'Sullivan. He's got an option here now in front of him, but he opts not to go for Ruan McCarthy, opts to go back instead. And Dingle, to their credit, very patient. No one panicking just yet in these opening exchanges. Just about 10 minutes gone here in this clash here in Dingle. It's a historic night for Templenoe, as we said. Will it be a memorable night for them as they lead 2-1 with 10 minutes gone? The man in possession though is Tom Spillane, going through the hands with John Rice. Great ball in by Rice in towards his corner forward down there, Stephen O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan's shot though, shot of nothing. Well, it needed two hands there by the goalkeeper David O'Connor to eventually clear it out. O'Sullivan, a talented corner forward, of course, a former Kerry Minor as well. Back here with Ruan McCarthy. Ruan and Billy O'Connor. There's Ruan still going there, looking in for Paul Gainey. Gainey out to it there. Takes one or two shoulders now. He's got a runner inside him. Will he go with that? And he's going to punch it in towards the full forward line into another Gainey, and a great score there by Conor Gainey after Paul Gainey doing all the hard work there.
Great score by Conor. Very good play by Paul out the field, worked it in. Good patience showed by Dingle, and into the shooting forwards inside in the scoring zone, and Conor got a great score there.
Yeah, but as we said, the conditions here, just for the forwards, especially the Dingle forwards, a huge amount of effort and workload to create that score, and capitalised on then in the end by Conor Gainey. That leaves us level, 2 points apiece with about 12 minutes gone here in Dingle this evening. Very wet Dingle. Fine piece of fielding there by Mikey Gainey. Fouled the ball though. Referee very strict on that, and he can complain all he wants, but Templenoe are in possession and racing after it. Down here is that centre forward Brian Crowley, who's looked ever so dangerous so far tonight, and Crowley shot though, that one has gone wide, but this young Crowley looking very effective in the opening 15 minutes.
Yeah, and they're going very direct to him with the breeze as well. He's well able to take on his man and have a shot. He's missed one or two there now after getting the first score, but it's definitely a danger zone for Dingle inside there.
Okay, as you said, the challenge for the goalkeeper with this win, but a fine kick out yet again by him. Sheehan knocking it down from Darragh O'Sullivan, and Dingle have it with Aidan O'Connor. Great ball by Aidan as far as Matthew Flaherty. Flaherty opts to go as far as Mikey O'Boyle, who's going to go back to Billy O'Connor. Two of the late replacements, the late team changes. The shot that's coming in should easily be taken by goalkeeper Mark Looney. It was Ruan McCarthy's shot in the end, but the goalkeeper Mark Looney making his debut at senior level this year, and has proven very effective, and was very cool, calm and collected under that one there. Darragh O'Sullivan is the man in possession. His brother Barry cried off with the injury there a little earlier. Gaining great ball to Tom O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan onto his left, being marshalled out there. He's opts to go right across the goal to Gainey, out as far as what a goal right into the roof of the net from Matthew Flaherty. Looked like the chance was gone. The ball was fed back. Flaherty teed it up and there was only one place that was going.
Fantastic goal from Matthew. Great approach play by Darragh, and ball worked across through Tom Sullivan into Conor Gainey. Looked like the chance was gone. Came out to Matthew, but what a finish.
Incredible finish by Gainey. I don't think even Diarmid Murphy in his prime would have gotten to that one. That was a stunning finish by Flaherty right into the top corner, and that's pushed it out to 1-2 to 2 points. Game on now here in Dingle. Now, Brian Crowley. What's the Templenoe response going to be to all of this? Gavin Crowley back as far as Kieran O'Neill, and Templenoe being forced backwards there. Martin Riley The order, the instruction is to move forward. Crowley launching it in towards his full forward line in towards O'Sullivan, but trickled all the way back to the goalkeeper David O'Connor, and all that hard work comes to naught as Dingle have possession and are building from the back again with Mikey O'Boyle there. And here they come, racing inside is Paul Gainey. Gainey taking a little nudge in the back from Spillane, but did ever so well there to shield the ball, and it finds its way back to Tom O'Sullivan, who of course was so much the instigator and creator of that wonder goal by Matthew Flaherty. Miscommunication inside there as Templenoe have it all so easy there, and coming out is Gavin Crowley.
Tom Sullivan's definitely becoming a factor for Dingle now, Colm. He's been Josh Crowley Holland is almost man marking him when Dingle have the ball, but Tom's starting to get on a bit of ball, starting to make a few things happen, and he's definitely coming into the game and needs to come into the game and needs to be a factor for Dingle, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that.
Okay, Brian Crowley is the man crossing the 45-yard line there. Punch in there in as far as O'Sullivan, and Stephen O'Sullivan off his left, eventually getting his opening score that all his hard work deserved there, and that's pushing it out now to 1 goal and 2 points to 3 points as we're coming up on about 15 minutes, and that means it's the water break here. So let's talk about that opening 15 minutes. The conditions, as we said, quite challenging, lads, but we have to talk about that goal again.
Yeah, fantastic goal, and the game needed it, and probably Dingle needed it when it came at the right time for them, just coming into the water break. Conditions are tough. Both teams are working ferociously hard, maybe haven't been getting the reward for their efforts so far. Conditions are probably part of that, but you'd know that it's a kind of a knockout championship game. There's a bit of an edge to it, very competitive. I think both teams are showing what they can do when they get a chance to attack, and there's been good scores on both sides, but Matthew Flaherty's goal there, obviously the decisive score in that first 15-minute period. Very well worked by Dingle. Good patience all round. Little pop balls, very hard to defend against, and a great finish as well.
By the same token, I don't think Templenoe will be overly discouraged by the game so far. They've been doing okay. They've made a lot of scoring chances in front of the goal. Maybe haven't taken as many of the chances they would have liked. Brian Crowley's doing a lot of damage. He's inside. They're going direct him, but he's coming out again, and the Dingle backs aren't picking him up when he comes out the field, and he had a hand in the last score there for Stephen Sullivan. So it's a very interesting game so far, competitive, tough, which you would expect in a knockout championship game. Dingle just with the goal is the difference so far, and what a goal it was.
What a goal it was indeed. In terms of, we'll say, Templenoe, I'd agree with you, Dermot, that they won't be too disheartened though.
No, because they're making chances down here. Now they do have that slight breeze advantage in the first half. They'd need to take a few more of those chances when they get them, but their approach play so far has been good. Okay,
just in terms of the matchups, lads, because you're keeping a close eye on that, Paul Gainey, I don't think he's got a score, but he's had a hand in a number of scores.
Yeah, he started to comment it more. That's a good battle himself and Tig. They'll be well used to marking each other in training, and Gavin Crowley is dropping back and giving a hand. Adrian Spillane was back at one stage as well to give a hand, so we'll keep an eye on it.
Okay, Tom O'Sullivan, another county man that we were mentioning there, opting to go right across the back line there. Mikey O'Boyle forced to go all the way back to his goalkeeper David O'Connor, and of course David's brother Mark is hopefully watching us in Australia if he's not on AFL duty this weekend, and hello to him, and indeed hello to all our viewers watching us around County Kerry, around Ireland and around the world. I want to say a special hello as well to Aoife Gainey, who's in Australia, Paul's sister and also daughter of the chairman of the club, Paul Gainey. Our thanks to the Kerry County Board as well too for our agreement on live streaming this game this evening. It's part of a hectic weekend of championship coverage on the Irish Examiner. Hurling tomorrow evening as Immakilly and UCC square off in the divisional series in Cork. Mark Landers and Des will be on duty for that from Porky Wren. The shot there from Conor Gainey going out wide. So hopefully you're enjoying the fare here this evening, and trust me, it's one of those evenings that you're much better watching a game like this from the comfort of your home than pitside here in Dingle, Hard to believe that it's the end of August. The jackets are on, and I'd say the fires will be lit a little later this evening. Now, the question is, will the fires be lit in Templenoe? Killian Spillane is going to do his very best to kick this point, and I'll tell you, that was some effort.
Super score, and Killian has that. And you know, I think one of Killian's underappreciated abilities is his balance, and when the weather is bad, he's fantastic at staying upright and at the same time getting a bit of distance between himself and his man, and kicked a great score off his left leg there into the Marion Park end. That can be hard to score into sometimes.
1, 2 to 4 points, a point between the sides, pushing and pulling in the back there. That seemed to be a strange decision there. Darragh O'Sullivan deemed to have been backing into Adrian Spillane. Referee Brendan Brosnan blowing for it quickly. There was no huge complaints though from the Dingle man. That definitely being a free there though, as Teddy Doyle being swallowed up by 2 or 3 players, and the opts to go to Brian Crowley about 35 yards out, looking for options, being forced to go back, finds Sean Sheehan. And the midfielder, another midfielder is Adrian Spillane, puts the head down. Oh, that's a fine shoulder there, blowing Micheál Flannery out of the way. It's out to the centre forward there towards Brian Crowley. Still Crowley being brought to ground, and a free in despite the protestations of the Dingle defence there. And would they feel hard done by on that occasion?
You know, as a forward, I suppose he took on his man. He asked the question. Probably looked like a foul, maybe a soft enough call, but we'll give the ref the benefit of the doubt. But Brian Crowley is certainly having a great game. He's causing a lot of damage. He's involved in everything good that Templenoe are doing, and I think he's someone that Dingle management will be possibly identifying that needs to be nailed down.
Yeah, that central channel there, he's getting a lot of reward there, and creator and scorer so far, and Killian Spillane getting his second score of the night from the resultant free, and that's bringing us all square with close on 20 minutes gone. Sheehan, good punch down by him as far as Crowley, but can only hit a Dingle body. Somehow Templenoe managed to recycle it back as far as Spillane, who goes back as far as John Rice, going nice and short there with Sean Sheehan. Sheehan's punched effort though somehow manages to find its way back to him, but in all the punching and everything like that, Templenoe lose possession, and Ruan McCarthy is the man who now has the ball there, or gone to Matthew Flaherty. Back to Matthew out here in front of us, dropping it on top of Darragh O'Sullivan. Guides through the attempted tackle of Tom Spillane with ease. In as far as Paul into Gainey, Mikey Gainey. Tom Sullivan. Nice jink by Sullivan. Another effort by Sullivan. Is he going to wind up for an effort? No, he's going to offload it out as far as Ruan McCarthy, and Ruan falling to the ground there off his left, and the ball sailing well away after that effort.
Good approach play by Dingle. Darragh Sullivan very strong in carrying the ball up the field, and they worked the opportunity well for Ruan, but just unfortunately for him, he couldn't take it.
Lots of people, of course, not being able to be here tonight. I want to mention as well Frank Quaid, who is the Dingle kitman extraordinaire, who can't be with us tonight. And I'm told as well, Templenoe, 2 characters, Arthur O'Connor and Teddy O'Sullivan from Templenoe, 2 men that go to every Templenoe game and every Kerry game. They can't be here tonight. Neither can Joan Rice, who's got 4 grandsons on the Templenoe panel. John Rice, of course, a wing back being one of those. And also want to say best wishes to Dennis O'Neill, who's ruled out of action with a cruciate knee injury and has missed most of the season. So just very conscious of all the people that would normally be here on a night like tonight, and hopefully you're sitting comfortably, enjoying the stream and shouting and roaring as if you were here in Dingle tonight. Matthew Flaherty going across to Ruan McCarthy, who on there back to Tom Leo O'Sullivan, and it's back with Darragh O'Sullivan, and back to Tom Leo, who hopes to go right across the field, and here we come again. This time it's Mikey O'Boyle looking to go long, looking to drop it high, and it's push in the back there. No, referee said play on, as Gainey was trying to get his hand in at the goalkeeper and the defender Kieran O'Neill coming together. managing to clear the danger. And it's out here in front of us here with Martin Riley. Drive in is the call there from Templenoe, and that's exactly what Teddy Doyle has done. Pushing and shoving going on there between Brian Crowley and Aidan O'Connor, but the ball being easily taken by the goalkeeper, and it's back out with Darragh O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan, nice little jink of a pass there in as far as Matthew Flaherty. Flaherty 45 yards out, option inside him. He's gone right into the corner in as far as Conor Gainey. Gainey's a bit of a miscommunication, but the goalkeeper did very well there. Mark Looney kept his eye on the ball and feeding it out as far as Martin Riley. Looney did well there, the young fella. Tom Spillane. It's with Teddy Doyle, the captain. Doyle forced to go back there. John Rice. Man there wearing number 18, Tom Spillane again. And interesting to see Killian Spillane now out around a midfield area. Teddy Doyle making the run on the edge of the exclusion zone. It's Teddy Doyle, 21 yards out. Still Teddy Doyle knocks one shot on and knocks it into the corner. Knocks it into the corner. I don't know whether he meant it or not, but he's managed to get the ball, almost bounced it into the corner, and out of nothing, Templenoe are straight back in it, and poor old Dermot Murphy is lost for words.
I haven't seen him speechless too many times, Colin, but he was there. In fairness, Dingle were attacking, and as can often happen when the ball doesn't go dead, a counter-attack, you can be a bit open. Adrian Spillane did very well in the first instance. He drove through the middle, gave the ball to Teddy, and Dermot had flagged him before the game as someone to watch out. Drove through, and as he was falling, managed to get a boot in it and did well, stuck it in. Huge score for Templenoe.
Micheál Flannery came across with the late tackle, and as Eamon said, as he fell, he was managing to get a connection on it. Just as we're talking there, big blow for Dingle. Mikey Gainey is gone off. George Durant, wearing number 25, is after coming on. Big news there.
Yeah, double blow for Dingle there, having conceded the goal. Quite a soft goal, really, the way it happened, and then for Mikey to go off injured as well. George is good player for Dingle, has played well, but is just coming back from injury. He's missed the last couple of games due to a knock, so it's a good chance for him to show what he's got, but not good for Dingle to lose Mikey in those circumstances. Yeah,
we'll see what the assessment is on that. We'll keep you updated. Interesting on George, he is a county championship winner, I believe. One of the few people on the field here tonight.
Yeah, down in Cork, yeah. Ballincollig,
senior football championship with Ballincollig, I think back around 2014 or thereabouts. Originally from the UK, came to Dingle as a young fella, and here he is tonight anyway. Will he be on a winning side tonight? But we'll have plenty of trills and spills, as you can see, between now and then. Templenoe in the ascendancy, 1 goal and 5 to 1 goal and 1 goal and 5 to 1 goal and 2. Templenoe very much back in this game here tonight, and no stage fright for them on their first night in senior championship ranks. Chasing after the ball there is Aidan O'Connor, doing well. So as far as Mikey O'Boyle. Calling for it here is Darragh O'Sullivan, who's been trafficking a lot here in front of us over the last few minutes. Looking for a first time effort again, and well played there by Spillane, getting a boot to the ball. Finds its way to Micheál Flannery. Back as far as Mikey O'Boyle. Flannery. O'Boyle. And Durant, the man that's just on a few moments ago. Dingle being very patient in their build-up. Durant again. Fresh legs. First time ball in there towards Paul Gainey. Great delivery. Gainey off his left, as we've seen so often. Unfortunately, the wind holding that one. Still managing to keep the ball somehow in play. Chance coming across with Tom O'Sullivan. And Sullivan screams the shot right over the crossbar. That was a chance of begging.
Should have been a goal really from Tom there. He worked it himself into a great position to come onto the ball there, coming from deep, and you'd say it was nearly easier to get a goal than a point, but look, he got a point out of it anyway. So from Dingle's point of view, it's a good response to the goal, and that they're after getting the next score.
Yeah, it looked like the ball Gainey shot had gone wide, but the wind just seemed to bring it back into play. And all credit to the attackers there for keeping their focus. And as Diarmuid said, though, it looked like it should have gone under. The goalkeeper being forced backwards, couldn't touch the ball with the new rules in terms of back passes, but Tyke Morley was aware of the danger, hoovered it all up and cleared it all out. It's Sean Sheehan. Big high dropping effort by him. There's 2 or 3 under the ball, and one of those is Spillane, and that man is going to roll it right into the bottom corner of the net. Killian Spillane, and that is a body blow for the hosts.
Yeah, dreadful goal to concede. It was a missed kick from the Templenoe midfielder in front of the goal, but very poorly handled by the Dingle full back line. Got in underneath the ball, and it beat the whole lot of the men to Killian Spillane, who wasn't going to miss from there in that situation anyway. 1-on-1 with the goalie. Killian put it away well.
Seemed to be a case of ball watching. Nobody sure who was going to step up and take charge, and it just bounced perfectly for Killian Spillane. And really from that range, as you said, Diarmuid, he wasn't going to miss.
It's unusual for a full back line. They're used to playing here in the windy conditions, so to misjudge a ball coming in like that, it's a bad mistake to make in a big game like this.
Okay, well, we talking about the super goal that we saw earlier from Matthew Flaherty into the top corner. Well, we've had 2 more since, and both of those going to Templenoe. And well, we were talking about the form book and favouritism earlier tonight. Well, it looks like it's been shredded a bit here by Templenoe, making their debut in the Garvey Super Value Kerry Senior Football Championship here tonight. Conditions are not, well, let's just say they're not August in Ireland kind of weather. And the question is, though, now, how are Dingle going to respond to that body blow? 2 goals in the last 5 minutes. And a serious gut check for the host club here, and a huge boost for Templenoe. Gavin Crowley, John Rice, and all the way back to Adrian Spillane, to Crowley again. Great settled play by Templenoe. Everyone seems to know their role, where to stand. Kieran O'Neill mightn't be the prettiest, admittedly, some might say, but given the conditions, it's all about maintaining possession here. Martin Riley opts to go long there. Chasing after it is Dingle's Ruan McCarthy. That'll show you your wing forward back on defensive duty, being pushed back. Tom Leo O'Sullivan, he's forced to go all the way back to Aidan O'Connor, and out they come here again with Tom O'Sullivan, who had that glorious goal chance a few moments ago, and maybe if he had slotted that, we'd have a completely different complexion to the game here. Darragh O'Sullivan getting a tough night with Sean Sheehan for company. Mikey O'Boyle running onto it. There is Dylan Gainey. Bounces perfectly for Gainey, despite being pulled and dragged a bit there by Colin Crowley. Mikey O'Boyle again. And it's Durant, the man who just came on a few moments ago. He's fouled just in front of the stand area there. Those are the Templenoe subs, by the way, up there that you see on your screen. The Dingle players are all lined up here below us. Bit of pulling and dragging there. A shot. Oh, great save by the goalkeeper. Shot of nothing coming there from Dingle from Billy O'Connor, but goalkeeper got down very well there. Dingle, though, have possession again, and the shot coming in. Is it going to curl? Yes, it is going to curl. Judge the wind to perfection. Conor Gainey.
Yeah, great score there, Colm, from Connor. Judge the win to perfection. You'd know he's used to kicking into those goals. Tom Leo Sullivan did very well as well. I think it was him that had the shot for the goal. Mark Looney made a great save. Important for Dingle to get a score out of that move and get a score now as we come up towards half time.
Great kick by the goalkeeper, Mark Looney. But it's coming back again with Tom Leo Sullivan, the man who had the shot, but Looney equal to it. A young goalkeeper in his debut season. In fact, one of the Templenoe subs, Danny Cahalan, the man wearing number 19, who might see a bit of action later, was on goalkeeping duty for the last season or two. But young Looney now is the custodian for them. Patrick O'Connor. Forced back again as far as Rowan McCarthy. McCarthy shot in as far as Gainey. Oh, nice little interplay there now. Running onto it is Billy O'Connor. Drops it and shot away, but it's out for a 45, and for a second there O'Connor looked to be building up ahead of steam.
Yeah, the middle opened up for him, but just the solo just got slightly away from him and it allowed Templenoe to scramble back, but both teams are very evenly matched. I think Templenoe are playing with plenty of confidence for their first championship game at this level, and they're really putting it up to Dingle. But in fairness to Dingle, they're showing their experience, they're sticking with it, they're trying to do the simple things right, keeping the scoreboard working and make sure that they stay in the game. If Dahi O'Connor kicks this now, it's another big, could be a big score for them.
Well, continuing the trend of goalkeepers taking frees in 45. Here comes O'Connor's kick. It's going to hang a bit in the air, but just manages to creep over the crossbar. And a huge applause here from the Dingle contingents in front of us, and perfectly timed as well too, as the half-time whistle blows.
Yeah, super kick, and I think this is going to be a great test of Dingle's championship credentials now, Colm, that, you know, they're in a real battle at home. Down at the moment Barry Sullivan, down Mikey Gainey, down Brown Down Kelleher, all big players for them, all big leaders for them. So, you know, some of the other lads who've an awful lot of experience from schools, from Kerry, the different levels of Kerry, and previous championship experience in Kerry, they're going to have to really step it up and drive it on. And Templenoe perspective, they're going to be very happy at half time.
I was about to ask you there, Eamon, are you surprised with the bite that Templenoe have brought to this fight?
No, not at all. I think, look, they've been an outstanding team coming up through all the grades over the last couple of years. They have a lot of very good players. You know, they've been waiting to play at this level for a long time. And, you know, in championship games, any of the games that are going on this weekend, with the knockout, the straight knockout element to it, there is going to be that bite, and there is going to be that extra dimension to it, so not surprised at all, and I think we'll see more and plenty more of that in the second half.
Okay, we'll have to bring you in, Diarmid. I won't say for a post-mortem, it's only half time yet. Your face told its own story when Killian Spillane kicked the ball to the net a few moments ago.
Yeah, I think ups and downs for Dingle in the first half. There's no way you could say that they've played well. The only thing I would say in the last few minutes that's a positive for them is they've reacted well to conceding the goal from Killian Spillane, playing into the breeze. They've come up the field and kicked 2 great points. So it is a 3-point game with Dingle having the advantage of the elements in the second half. But they'll be disappointed with the 2 goals that were conceded. 2 very sloppy goals. Really and truly, the first one is run straight down through the middle of the defence, which they would be disappointed with, and the second one then just misjudging a high ball and letting a forward of the calibre of Killian Spillane in behind the full back line. 1-on-1 with the goalie. There was only going to be one winner there, so Dingle will be disappointed with how they've played, but they're still well in the game. Okay,
and the counter on that, of course, is the great chance that Tom O'Sullivan had just a few moments before that, and if that had gone in, could be a completely different game.
Absolutely. Now, Tom did manage to get a point out of the whole thing, so it was at least there was a score to show for it. But we'll see how things go in the second half. Dingle will be looking for a big improvement.
Okay, Tony Lean has joined us as well here in the commentary box. Tony, your thoughts on that opening 30 minutes or so?
I would say if you're Templenoe at this moment, you're absolutely delighted, not just the players but the management. I thought the game plan has been executed really well. I thought they've been absolutely patient in possession. I think they've made so many good choices in possession in terms of the ball. They've hardly wasted a ball, and that's some achievement when you think the way they're playing. They're actually playing with 2, possibly aiming even 1 man up top at times. You know, I mean, Killian Spillane, I'm noticing, is down corner back. They look like a team who are really putting a united kind of an effort, a really good work ethic performance. I mean, look, they're a team making their debut. It's their first ever game. It's a historic game for them. And, you know, that can go one of 2 ways. It can overcome a team, or they can actually go out and say, listen to me, this is really big, let's do it justice. And so far, they've done that. I think if they're going to be disappointed, the one thing is to concede that couple of scores just before half-time. I know Tom Sullivan could have had a goal, but I just think, Diarmid, that 45 and the point that came before were good for Dingle, just in terms of actually just drawing them back and maybe killing Templenoe's momentum just a small bit.
Yeah, absolutely, and there were two vital scores for Dingle because they needed them coming into half time. But just when you're looking at the Templenoe team, you look at their team on paper, they have a lot of experienced players and a lot of players there with Kerry experience at senior level, and for their first day out in the county championship ever, they're going to be very, very happy at where they are at half time. Very happy, and they're going to put in a massive effort in the second half to get the result that they'll be looking for.
I mean, for those who are watching this, you're actually wondering which, who you'd say that the conditions will favour Dingle, certainly in the second half. It's kind of blowing from the town goal up to the corner. But I don't think it's a wind that would actually prevent Eamon, would you say, a player like Killian Spillane from scoring, even though I know Paul Gainey maybe had a couple of efforts that curled wide. But certainly, the conditions, if there were to be an advantage, would be with Dingle now.
Yeah, look, generally speaking, Tony, the way that Templenoe is playing in the second half, it can be the scoring goals. It can be trickier to score into the other goals. So in previous games that Dingle have had here, you've seen them handle that very well, that they've actually played very well up the way into the Marion Park goals, as they're known for those games. So in the second half, it'll be interesting to see if the likes of Connor and Dylan Gainey can come more into it and get more scores. But I think Dingle need to put it inside more to them. But like you said, Templenoe in a great position at half time, and it's good for them.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd be interested more in your view on this. The inside line, you're talking about a team on paper, that inside line that Dingle have looks so strong and it is so talented on paper. It hasn't clicked though so far, and I know they've tried different combinations in there, but I'm actually saying that that's less the Gainey's issue, and I think that that's more Templenoe. I think they've handled them really well.
They have. What they've done, Templenoe, is they've put a lot of pressure on the kicks coming in from out the field, and definitely Dingle in the second half will be looking to get that ball into their full forward line earlier. The strongest line in the field for Dingle is the full forward line with the three Gainies in there, and even in the first half Dingle were quite slow to go through their half forwards to get it into the inside forward. So again, that's something that no doubt they'll be looking at there for the second half.
In terms of the Dingle attack though, Dermot, with Mikey Gainey now gone, what's the thinking tactically? How would you rejig it?
Well, George Durant is coming in there, and George is a good player for Dingle in the last couple of years, and he's an experienced lad, as we were saying earlier on, with his experience in Cork, winning county championships and next Kerry minor as well. It's tactically he's taking up a like for like role in the half forward line. He's linking up the play, he's getting on the ball, he's looking inside to put it in. Hasn't had that many chances to put it in yet, but hopefully in the second half, from a Dingle point of view, he'll be able to get that ball in good and early to the inside forwards.
Eamon, we mentioned another centre forward a couple of times in the course of the first half. Brian Crowley has been very, very impressive.
He's been outstanding. We've been all very impressed with him, Colm, and I think one of the hallmarks of Templenoe, always really, but particularly you can see it this evening, is huge number of their players are very flexible. Brian has been inside, outside. Same with the likes of Gavin Crowley, Tig, Adrian Spillane. They're Teddy Dial. They're comfortable playing in a good few different positions, and it's they're very fluid in the way that they're playing. And conditions this evening suit that kind of game. They're great spirit. They're very tight. You can see that they've had a lot of success over the last couple of years. And like I said, it's going to be a huge test for Dingle. I think if you're Padraig Corcoran at half time, it's the test you want. If you come through it, you're in great shape going into the next round, because you've had to really battle for your lives in a county championship game at home.
Okay, the Templenoe team back out on the pitch, the Dingle team falling into formation there, and will be underway in a few moments' time. Want to mention as well too, just some other notes being passed on to me. A big hello to Gavin Kern, who's watching in Australia, the Dingle goalkeeper a few years ago, and also a big hello and good evening to Margaret and Celsius Sheehy, grandparents of, wait for this, Patrick, Aidan and Brian O'Connor, and Connor, Niall and Dylan Gainey. So they've 6 grandsons playing this evening here, so we hope you're enjoying the fair and you're staying nice and dry on this wet and miserable Saturday evening. You're watching the Irish Examiner live stream of the Garvey Super Value Kerry Senior Football Championship clash of Templenoe and Dingle, with thanks to the Kerry County Board. I hope you're enjoying the football, hope you're enjoying the fair, and we've 30 minutes to decide who's going to be still alive in the 2020 Kerry Senior Football Championship. Of course, no backdoors, no safety nets this season. It's a do or die tonight, and at the moment it's Dingle that are going to be clinging on as they trail by 3 points to Templenoe side, making their debut in the Senior Football Championship. Bit of pushing and shoving down there, but it ends up with Templenoe having the sideline, and it's Sean Sheehan That's there, looking around for options. He's going to go all the way back to his wing back to John Rice. Rice to Adrian Spillane. As Tony said, they're very patient and well-drilled side here. Sheehan just bounces off him, and two Dingle players going in for it. And one of those, the man taking possession, is Billy O'Connor. And Dingle, a let off for them in the opening minute of the second half. Psychologically even, that's a huge boost as well. David O'Connor, the goalkeeper, going right across the field to Tom Lee O'Sullivan as the rain trundles in here to the press box in Dingle. Durant on for Mikey Ganey, who went off there just before half time. On we go again. It's Paul Ganey. Now can he magic something off the right across, and well taken by looked to be Spillane back there, and getting a free out, but that was a tricky ball to deal with in these conditions.
Yeah, Dingle, when they're attacking, it was something Diarmid mentioned at half time there, Colm. There's definitely a bit of a link missing in the half forward line, just that they can get the ball today or to look to get it inside. Then Matthew Flaherty's playing deep, he's working hard, similar with Rowan McCarrig, similar with George Durant, and they're missing that small bit of a link there. Paul had to do it there and he nearly set up a goal, but it'll be interesting to see if they change that up.
Okay, it's Gavin Crowley who's coming out here, riding 2 or 3 tackles. As far as Adrian Spillane, the shout is to get it in. He does just that, and it's Templenoe coming with an effort here, and it's punched into the corner of the net out of nothing. Josh Crowley Holland is after knocking it in. It was Brian Crowley that looked to have done the hard work on it. Referee going into his umpires to see was he outside the square. Looked to be good from this vantage point here. Josh Crowley Holland applying the touch there out of nothing.
Yeah, it looked good from here, Colm, but we'll see now what the umpires thought. They're obviously closer to it, but again, strong running from Templenoe, doing the simple things well, got the runner through and made a good pass. Big test of Dingle here now.
Massive test of Dingle's character, just out of nothing, and perfectly positioned Crowley Holland on the edge of the square and just tapped it into the back of the net. And you can see now that the tails are up of Templenoe, as 1, 2, 3 of them circling around for the ball. John Rice is the man. He's Uncle John, of course, the manager. Opts to go back to Adrian Spillane. Spillane bouncing through about 3 tackles there. Still Spillane 35 yards out. Going into another Spillane. Killian, of course, the brother. Tom Spillane. Lots of famous surnames, famous fathers. John Rice. Very, very patient play here. But Gavin Crowley coming on to it. Long ball in, dropping in around the square. Pushing and pulling there, and it looked like the goal scorer Josh Crowley Holland was claiming that he was being impeded. Referee though was having none of that, but again, just that patient play there by Templenoe.
Yeah, and you can see it in the build up to the goal, their third goal they scored there. The game plan clearly in the second half is to take on their men, get past the men that they're marking, and it'll open up for them inside then, which happened for the goal. Adrian Spillane did it there again. He beat about 3 Dingle players in a burst down through the middle, and it nearly created another scoring chance.
Dingle have managed to create a turnover there, and it's Ruan McCarthy all the way out to George Durant. Field opening up in front of Durant on the edge of the exclusion zone. Durant 14 yards out, and the shot from Durant, and that is a very, very important shot and a very important score for Dingle.
Good score by George. Billy O'Connor turned over the ball in the middle of the field, gave it to George, who ran right down through the middle and got a vital score for Dingle. Now Dingle responded well to the goal in the first half, but they're going to need to respond well again here if they're going to win.
About 5 minutes gone. 3-5 to 1-6 the score here in Dingle in the second half. The conditions, if anything, seem to be worsening. The rain coming right across the field and into us here. Dingle bench looking on, looking for answers. Psychological boost though with that score from Durant. The ball hanging there from the goalkeeper's kick out. but crucially from his perspective, it's into a Templenoe hand, and those hands belong to John Rice. Great delivery by him towards Colin Crowley, and it's back as far as Teddy Doyle. Doyle opting to go across the field, and there's a foot race on here in front of us to see will the ball make the sideline, and it does, and it's going to be a Dingle ball down there. Tom Leo O'Sullivan, great ball by him, and as far as Mikey O'Boyle, instruction is give it back to Dara, that Dara being Dara O'Sullivan. Referee though is having some words there with Teddy O'Doyle as to what went on beforehand. Delivery in there, and it bounces out perfectly, and Templenoe with their centre back there, Gavin Crowley, showing the bit of county class there in the way he controlled the situation. His county colleague Tyg Morley taking the free too quickly because the referee had called over Conor Gainey for a word there, and there'll be a card of some description here for him. I don't know, was a bit of back chat or what was going on, but he's getting his name into the referee's book, and a yellow card, carte bouille for Conor Gainey. Tyg Morley taking the free very quickly, and it's well won inside there by Brian Crowley.
Barry Sullivan is getting ready there now as well, Colm. He's obviously going to come in whatever type of an injury he has. Obviously he has 20 minutes, and it's got to the stage now where it's do or die, and Dingle need everyone, all hands to the pump. So he's going to come in, and he could have a say in this game yet.
Will he slot in at midfield, Eamon, do you think?
I think definitely, yeah, he will.
Great ball all the way as far as Mikey O'Boyle, who came on for Brondon Kelleher in the original team listing. He's doing ever so well there, out as far as Gainey, and the shot all the way from about 25 yards out that Conor that got the shot off in the end was booked a few moments ago. Didn't seem to dampen his enthusiasm anyway, and kicking that over off his left.
Yeah, great score, and I think the thing we'll be interested to see here from this kick out, can Templenoe win it and quench the momentum, or can Dingle get another score and build a bit of momentum and get themselves back into the game?
Great kick out again by Looney, but it just hangs in the air there, and crucially it was Matthew Flaherty that was in doing the donkey work there, but there's a blow, and Teddy Doyle is down on the ground there. Doyle holding his face, and the referee is back having words with Doyle, and wants to quench that there.
It's a good contest there under the kickouts. It's a bit old school. The ball has been kicked out to the middle of the field. It's great to see the contest out there, and with the wet ball, breaking ball is going to be crucial here for the rest of the game. A great win there by Matthew Flaherty for Dingle.
The end result is Tom O'Sullivan having the free for Dingle. O'Sullivan going to aim into the corner, but cut out there, and that was a big blow there psychologically, at least, as it's Kieran O'Neill coming out, going back though. It's bouncing off about three bodies, and eventually it finds its way to Mikey O'Boyle. He's been getting on quite a lot of ball here in the second half. Tom O'Sullivan out as far as Matthew Flaherty with the distinctive nose bandage there, about 45 yards out, has the free man inside, and that's number it loses. I'm losing track of it as it bobbles around the ground there, as Dingle desperately trying to fashion a score here, and the referee has decided that the player touched the ball on the ground, and it's a free out and quickly taken by Templenoe. Tyg Morley. It was John Rice as well too was in there, but Morley blown up on that occasion, and another chance for Dingle to chip away at it, and it's Conor Gainey going to come out here. It's out on the sideline, so I don't think this is in his range, but has options inside. Let's see what's on. Well, it's usually the commentator's curse, the opposite applying here.
Beautiful score from Conor, and a badly needed score for Dingle. They're starting to win a little bit more of the 50-50 contests around the field. Templenoe struggling a little to get their hands in their own kick out, but long way to go for Dingle yet. Still a good lead, and change coming in there now. I think Barry's coming in for Dara, so we'll see how Barry gets on there. So, if he's fit and able to play, he will be a big boost for Dingle.
The veterinary student Barry O'Sullivan replacing his brother Dara at midfield, and he'll have Billy O'Connor for company there. It's Teddy Doyle trying to get back out onto it there. Tom Spillane all the way across there. Spillane looking for the return from John Rice, but it's well cut out, and Dingle with Tom O'Sullivan, and now with Gainey. Dangerous ball in here onto the edge of the exclusion zone off the left, and that is a fine score by Dylan Gainey. And we were talking about momentum killers and momentum starters, and Diarmid, that's 2 on the bounce in the space of 60 seconds.
Great score again for Dingle off the turnover, and we're starting to see Dingle kicking the ball a little bit more up the field, and they're getting the rewards for it, because early ball into the full forward line will be key for them to keep getting the scores. And it's another good score from Dylan there inside in the corner, who's having another fine game.
1 goal and 9 points to Dingle, 3 goals and 5 to Templenoe. You're watching the Irish Examiner's coverage of the Garvey Super Value Kerry Senior Football Championship round 1 clash here in Dingle. Templenoe making their debut in the competition, and that Templenoe star being brought to ground. Adrian Spillane being fouled there just as he was about to unleash, and Templenoe will be more than happy to have the free, kill another few seconds, and give Killian Spillane probably a better chance of a score than Adrian had there. Straight between the posts by Killian Spillane. White flag confirming what we knew already and pushing it out to 3-6-2-1-9.
We're seeing Adrian coming more into the game in the second half with that direct, strong running that he's noted for, and he's after setting up a couple of scores there for Templenoe, and they'll need more of that before the game is out.
Powerful kick out again by David O'Connor, falls perfectly to Tom O'Sullivan. His pass eventually finds Matthew Flaherty, despite some close intentions there. George Durant trying to hold off Tom Spillane. Still Durant getting it across as far as Conor Gainey. Scored that wonder score from the sideline a few moments ago to Barry O'Sullivan. And there's a free being awarded, and it's in a very scoreable position there, Dermot.
It is, yeah. The referee saw something clearly happening inside, but on a night like this it seems a bit of a soft one now, to be honest, but Dingle will take everything they need at the moment.
Dingle are definitely throwing caution to the wind a bit more, Colm. There's a lot of more support. There's more energy about them. There's more support in the middle third. They're kicking the ball a bit more. They're just playing a bit better, and I think Tom Sullivan is a factor. Josh Crowley-Holland got a great goal, and he had pinned Tom back for a while there now, but Tom Sullivan is big time coming into the game, and he's driving Dingle on a bit. Matthew Flaherty is becoming a big factor. George Durant is influencing. Paul is getting into the game more, so Templenoe will be looking for the water break, I'd say, now to gather themselves again and get ready for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, Conor Gainey applauding on his teammates there, telling him to rise up to the challenge there, and chipping in with another fine score there. One of the easier ones they can have in the course of the night, hanging here in front of us, and they're all going up. And which way is it going? It's going Templenoe's way, despite the anger of Pádraig Corcoran and some of the Dingle lads in front of us. Quickly taken, perfectly weighted into Sean Sheehan. Sheehan in as far as Spillane, Killian Spillane, trying to work away. Still Spillane getting a shot off, but the angle was too tight, and it's gone out wide. Some good play there by the man Matthew Flaherty that Eamon mentioned a few moments ago, back out helping the defence and putting Killian Spillane under pressure, getting the shot off and driving it wide. David O'Connor has been kicking off left and right. It's a fine piece of fielding there by Barry O'Sullivan just on a few moments ago, and a fine pass to Tom O'Sullivan. Tom O'Sullivan, will he take a shot off the left himself? Gets a lovely little dink, and pity we don't have our commentary cam on here, because there was nearly a little fist pump from Diarmid Murphy with that one.
Great catch from Barry in the middle of the field. He's made a bit of an impact already coming in. Took the mark. Great pass for Tom, and Tom ran on and kicked a great score. So it's getting tighter again.
Yeah, it's definitely getting tighter. It's now 1 goal and 11 points to 3 goals and 6. And it's been all Dingle for the last 5 or 6 minutes here in a wet pitch here this evening. Another fine piece of fielding down there by Josh Crowley-Holland. the goal scorer. High delivery by him, but hand getting it away there, and Durant perfectly placed to take it up. Looked like he touched the ball on the ground, but it's gone out over the sideline. Durant touching it last, under huge pressure there from Killian Spillane. Spillane looking for options, doesn't fancy going long, is forced into the corner in the end. Will he look for the return? And it's worked all the way back here in front of us to Colin Crowley, and it's with Teddy Doyle. Still Teddy Doyle. It's making a tough angle for himself. Doyle right across towards Spillane. A shot from him, well blocked though, and that's going to be a free out there for a high challenge on a Dingle defender. But as Diarmuid was talking there, we've been seeing quite a bit of Adrian Spillane running from deep there, was coming onto it there, but brave defending to stop a goal chance.
Yeah, great run inside there by Adrian. Again, he managed to get possession inside in front of the goal. Had an opportunity to get his shot off, but there was good blocking, a lot of Dingle bodies around the place, which we didn't see in the first half, and they managed to clear it away, and it looks like Adrian is hurt at the moment. Hopefully it isn't anything too bad.
Okay, well, I'm sure there'll be a few anxious moments for Templenoe fans and for Kerry fans in terms of Adrian, but he's back on his feet. Seems to be a bit ginger with it. Looked like a possible dead leg, and we've stopped play then again here for the water break. And as we've seen, and I don't know, lads, if you've been watching some of the matches on TG Car and on our own live streaming service over the last couple of weeks, these water breaks have had some incredible impacts on matches, haven't they?
Yeah, it's almost like the American sport with the timeout, and I don't know how long they're actually supposed to be, but they seem to be taking much longer anyway, so it gives the coaches a good chance to get their players together and get new instruction onto them, and get tactically make a few changes if needs be. And it'll be very very interesting to see how they pan out later on there in the inter-county game. I think they're going to be a huge feature of that as well.
In terms, Eamon, we'll say from an inter-county perspective, how challenging is it going to be now for managers and for squads and everything like that, this disjointed preparation?
I don't think it will be that challenging, to be honest, Colm. If it goes ahead as planned and there's a couple of league games and there's a bit of a lead into the championship, then you have, all of your players are going to be coming back match fit once they don't have injuries. You have the couple of weeks with them. You'll be able to get them up to speed with a couple of league games to finish out the league, and then you're straight into championship, and you're playing games every week or every second week, and the training load is reduced. And I think it's the ideal world from a player's perspective in particular. Maybe from a management perspective, the quick turnaround can be tough in terms of looking at all the video and getting ready for the next opposition, but I think if it's played, and hopefully it will be played, I think everyone will embrace it. It'll be interesting here now again what's going to happen for the last quarter. Dingle have all the momentum at the moment, but I think if you told Templenoe before the game they'd be a point up facing into the last quarter, they'd take it. So it'll be interesting now to see if they can drive it on, or if Dingle are going to keep up the momentum they've had.
Okay, well said as always, Eamon. Barry O'Sullivan, the man who came on a few moments ago, is the man in possession. Thankfully the rain has eased there in the last few moments as we come down the final stretch here in this first round Kerry Senior Football Championship, this Garvey's Super Value Kerry Senior Football Championship clash in Dingle this evening. Micheál Flannery was the man out there, and it's Matthew Flaherty, their wing back, working so hard out in defence. Mikey O'Boyle came on for Brondon Kelleher a little earlier. Tom O'Sullivan scored that lovely point a few moments ago. Tom very patient, waiting for Templenoe to come on to him, almost trying to suck in and get a free with Durant, who's impressed since he came on a few moments ago. Paul Gainey, now to another Gainey off his left, but this occasion from Dylan has gone wide. I think was possibly kicking, judging on the wind that we had a few moments ago, which seems to have just died in the last few minutes.
Yeah, it certainly calmed down, and the rain seems to have passed over. Adrian Spillane looks like he's about to go off over at the far side there, Colm, and if that is the case, he's going to be a massive loss, because he's central to everything they do. He works so hard for the team, and as Diarmuid mentioned earlier on, he was driving them on, driving through the middle. He's a huge loss to Templenoe now, particularly when Barry Sullivan has come on for Dingle to finish out the game for them.
It looks to be Cian Hallisey is the man that's after coming on in his place. We'll keep a track on that anyway as we come down the stretch. But massive blow to Templenoe's chances with the big man at midfield being forced off with injury. So let's see what Templenoe have as they enter the final few minutes of their first ever, hard to believe it, their first ever senior football championship clash here in Dingle. Will it be a memorable one for them? Ball sails over the head of Killian Spillane down there, and it's Mikey O'Boyle going back to his goalkeeper, and O'Boyle out as far as Barry O'Sullivan. And Barry has certainly impressed in the few minutes since his introduction, as has Mikey O'Boyle, gotten his hands on quite a lot of balls so far. Durant kind of goes to ground, manages to get it back at the second occasion, turns on the afterburners, but is running into a blue wall there and is forced backwards. And Templenoe trying to pin Dingle back here. Ruan McCarthy. Back with Matthew Flaherty. Barry O'Sullivan. No. He'll try and open up something, or the free eventually being awarded. Tom Spillane was the man who committed the foul on this occasion on Barry. And it's Paul Gainey screaming inside for it. He's going to go though in the other direction. And it's Tom O'Sullivan who takes the pass from Dylan Gainey. Looking no option really in the middle for him, so he's jinking it back onto his left, and it's Sheehan who did ever so well to knock it down to Tig Morley, despite the intentions of Barry O'Sullivan. And Templenoe recalibrating there with Brian Crowley, so influential earlier in the game. Out as far as Tom Spillane. Back to Crowley. Going to the captain Teddy Doyle, and all the way back to John Rice. And it's going right across the field there to Stephen O'Sullivan, being quiet tonight. Sullivan, of course, famously scored 3 goals in an All-Ireland Club Junior final 4 years ago. Josh Crowley Holland, the goal scorer. Offload from him to the corner forward to Stephen O'Sullivan, but dropped ever so easily into David O'Connor, and all the hard work coming to naught. Durant flicks it over the head. Has a runner, finds it to Barry O'Sullivan. The runner in question there was Patrick O'Connor, whose grandparents watching us tonight. I hope they'll be proud of their efforts. Matthew Flaherty. Very patient build-up. Shot off the left from one of the Gaineys. And that man on this occasion was Conor Gainey. And that shot gone wide there. So a huge amount of energy being expended by the two teams. Nothing to show for it.
Conor will be disappointed with that one. It was in a good position for him there with the breeze to his back. He would have fancied his chances there, but definitely with Dingle, it's off of turnover ball that they seem to be attacking well. It's a little bit ponderous, a couple of attacks before that, whereas it's definitely when we can get the ball in earlier into the inside forwards that Dingle look more dangerous.
Cathal Bambury just after coming on there. I'm not sure yet who's made way. Ruan McCarthy, wing forward. So Cathal Bambury. Yeah, and I see Paul Gainey's drifted a bit farther out as well too. We'll keep track anyway around. So we're still locked at 1-11 to 3 goals and 6 as we were at the water break. Point between the sides. Templenoe looking for that other score that could just push them out of danger. Foot race on. It's going to be won there by Killian Spillane. And Spillane getting a little nudge there. And it's a Templenoe ball there.
Yeah, it looked softish to be honest, Colin, but there's been a couple at both sides, so it's balancing out. So tough kick for Killian now. Stephen Sullivan hasn't been as sharp as he can be tonight. He's coming here now. He's kicked 2 into the goalkeeper's hands. He'd normally kick these ones from that side with his left foot, so will be a good test for him if he looks to go for it. They're working it.
Yeah, he's opting to go back to Teddy Doyle. He's captain. There was a bit of deliberation there. I don't think anyone really fancied it. And Teddy Doyle off his left, and the little roar that he gave there told you all you needed to know, as that one has gone wide again. Referee holding up play here as we've another substitute coming in. We'll track that. It's Tom Spillane is the man who's making way. And a few positional switches going on there as well. And we'll track back as to who Templenoe have introduced there in a few moments' time.
Yeah, it looks like Templenoe are reacting to George Durant's influence. They've made a couple of swaps there to get a new marker on him, to get Martin Riley out in him, and to try and match his legs maybe.
Mikey O'Boyle. Matthew Flaherty screaming for it, and so disappointed that the ball wasn't delivered quickly into him. George Durant, the man Eamon just mentioned, and the influence that he's having, and he's already giving Martin Riley a bit of a run for his money. Great crossfield effort there, but held up. John Rice trying to get onto it, and referee said Rice was fouled, and that's going to be a free to Templenoe. The game has kind of lost a bit of shape there in the last few moments. Tyke Morley opts to go all the way back. Hopefully our microphones aren't picking up some of the phrases on the pitch here tonight for those of a nervous disposition. Number 20 is Kieran McCarthy, the man that came on there a few moments ago. Ball working its way down towards Killian Spillane, but great defending there by Tom Leo O'Sullivan. And reinforcements coming from the goalkeeper there, David O'Connor.
Tom Leo has been outstanding in the second half. He's been really stuck on to Killian because there's space inside, and we all know how dangerous Killian is when he gets his hands on the ball, but Tom Leo's been very impressive in how he's dealt with him so far.
So has this man, Mikey O'Boyle, evaded one tackle there, back as far as Barry O'Sullivan. He kind of ran about 20 yards and then was kind of forced to go backwards again. Micheál Flannery. It's back with Barry O'Sullivan. Didn't have the option of O'Boyle there, who was getting a bit of a breather there after his efforts. Cathal Bambury, the man that came on a few moments ago. And it's back then with Tom O'Sullivan. It's like a chess game here at the moment. Somebody trying to make the killer move. Aidan O'Connor finds Barry O'Sullivan, looking for the option inside, and that's Durant who's running onto it. Durant opts to go short, opposite, and pops it into the goalkeeper's arm. The shot from Conor Ganey. And it was also easy for Mark Looney, and Templenoe, who is still leading by that single point, as we're coming down the final few moments of this Kerry Senior Football Championship first round game here tonight. It's Killian Spillane opts to go out as far as Stephen O'Sullivan, and O'Sullivan and Spillane playing 1-2s together. Tyke Morley, Gavin Crowley. He's got Teddy Doyle as an option, and that's the man that's on your screen now, and that's the 45-yard line that he's crossing. Sean Sheehan takes a heavy shoulder, managed to balance himself again. John Rice getting in there, Gavin Crowley, but wonderful play there by Matthew Flaherty to rescue the situation, kill off the attack, and get Dingle going again with Barry O'Sullivan in front of us. Great play by the wing forward there. Still O'Sullivan goes right around John Rice. Shot coming in, it's going to be dropping in on top of the goalkeeper, who takes the sensible option and punches it clear. It was a powerful drive in by Billy O'Connor.
Cathal Bambury was lurking as well, and he's a good man to get a goal normally, Colm, so if he gets half a chance. But
Looney, to his credit, on a wet damp ball, did very well there, and Morley hoovered it up perfectly. Sean Sheehan into Crowley, back to Sheehan. It's back with Teddy Doyle. And they're going through the hands here. Templenoe, it's Colin Crowley. It's going to go John Rice. He's got options inside him. Rice being held up by two players, all the way back to Spillane. Perfectly positioned, and a shot by Spillane, and a score by Spillane, and a point. 3-7 to 111. 3-7 to 111, and how valuable could that score be?
And that's Killian Spillane summed up. He's so accurate when he gets the ball in hand, and as we were mentioning earlier, Templenoe was doing very well, couldn't do much about that. John Rice did well, slipped it out. Killian over the bar, 2-point game.
Niall Gainey is the man that's after coming on. It's Mikey O'Boyle, who's run himself to a standstill, is the man who's after coming off there in front of us. Another man that's been up and down the field all night is Matthew Flaherty. He's been everywhere except nearly his wing forward positioning. Back to the new man, Niall Gainey. Gainey going route one in on top of Durant. Falls back off. Still Durant gets the shot away. It's bouncing up into the air. Goalkeeper coming out. Did very well there. Kept the eye on it into his chest. But and manages to get away. A good clearance as well to his corner forward, Stephen O'Sullivan. That'll just show you know where Templenoe at when their corner forward is all the way back out, trying to help out his defence. Man on the ball there is Gavin Crowley, the centre back. He's going to hold it up. No panic. They're leading by 2 points on this historic night for the club. Buys the free as well, and eating another few valuable seconds into the clock. And the referee coming over, and there's going to be a Dingle booking on that. Crowley giving instructions as to where the bodies need to be. He's standing over the free himself, and it looks like it's going to be Billy O'Connor who's going to go into the referee's notebook on that occasion for the pull down on Gavin Crowley. It's so strange here without a crowd, the lack of noise, the lack of excitement, etc. But I can tell you, even up here in the commentary box, it's still quite tense as we're entering the final few moments here. Gavin Crowley getting the ball in, dropping it in and around the square. 2 hands going up for it. One of those was Crowley, and wonderful save across the line by Tom Lee O'Sullivan. Templenoe player getting a leg to it, but O'Sullivan perfectly positioned, cleared it, and a fine clearance by him about 45 yards out. And despite the best intentions there of Dylan Gainey, he can't keep the ball in play.
Yeah, great play there by Templenoe. Again, really good attacking play. It seems that score from Killian Spillane has given them extra energy. It was always going to be a big one, the first score after the water break. But they're definitely on the ascendancy at the moment, and they're looking good deep into injury time. They're looking good for the win.
Micheál Flannery there and the corner forward Colin Crowley were getting to know each other there, and illegally so. A referee is going to award a free end to Templenoe. 2 points, 2-point game. Templenoe leading. It's 1 goal and 11, 3 goals and 7, and it's Teddy Doyle, the captain, who's now standing over the ball here in this first round of the Kerry Senior Football Championship. The Garvey Super Value Kerry Senior Football Championship being brought to you live stream tonight on the Irish Examiner. I hope you're enjoying the game here as much as we are enjoying bringing it to you. And this is the captain of Templenoe, Teddy Doyle, 46 yards out, taking the free. This will push it out to 3 if he converts it. Hands go up, and it's Flaherty who's there, the wing forward for Dingle, getting it out as far as Barry O'Sullivan. If Dingle are going to produce something, it looks like they're going to need a goal. Here they come again at pace, all the way out to the far side of the field there to Conor Gainey. First time ball in, Dingle on the attack. Paul Gainey is lurking on the edge of the square. Is he going to be found? Ball goes to ground, and it's Sean Sheehan, the midfielder. He's been here, there and everywhere tonight. Did ever so well there. Colin Crowley. Sheehan again. John Rice to Sheehan. Sheehan has got Spillane inside him. Pull down, and he's going to take the free, and again just eat up another few seconds in the clock here. And I'll tell you, that lad Sheehan at midfield has put in some shift this evening. He has.
He's run himself into the ground. He's worked really, really hard for his team. It's interesting, since the water break, I don't think Dingle have actually scored. Their attacking play has fallen away very poorly, and they didn't manage to get a shot off in the last attack either, when it looked like they need a goal. But Templenoe are controlling the game very, very well by running the ball out from the middle of the field, and they're looking good for the win so far.
John Rice taking the free there in as far as Brian Crowley. Loses possession. Crowley ever so dangerous in the first half, not as much of a threat or a presence in the second half here. In front of us is Micheál Flannery, and here come Dingle again. Option in front of us here is Durant on the 45-yard line. Now is he going to keep going, or is he going to drop it into the danger area? Still Durant being held up. Still Durant 14 yards out. Shot by Durant, all right across the front of the goal. Fisted clear. John Rice coming out under it, back as far as Tom Sullivan, and Tom Sullivan from 30 yards is after kicking it, and he's after kicking it over the bar, and we have a 1 point game.
1 point game deep into injury time. It's in the lap of the gods here, depending on what the referee adds on. But it just comes down to what the referee is going to add on here, and possession is huge off the next kick out.
16 points to 15, 1-12 to 3 goals and 7, and as Dermot said, in the lap of the gods, because how much injury time is going to be added on, we're only going to have to wait and see. Well, you're just after getting your answer. A historic night, a memorable night, an incredible night for Templenoe. They're after upsetting the form book, they're after upsetting their hosts, and they're after making history on their first night in the Kerry Senior Football Championship.
Big congratulations to Templenoe. They won the game very well there, deserved winners. They really came out strong in the last 10 minutes of the game. They finished so strong, and they showed great heart, great commitment, great work rate, and they had the few quality forwards to get the scores for them throughout the game, so deserved winners, Templenoe.
Okay, well, it was an incredible final quarter. We talked about that water break and coming down the stretch there. It mightn't have been pretty in the eye at some stages, but you have to say that was an incredible piece of footballing, bravery and teamwork that probably got Templenoe over the line.
Massive battle, a very enjoyable game, bearing in mind the conditions, Colm. Like you said, you called it, the water break. It can be such a huge thing in terms of giving a team a chance to gather themselves, reset. Dingle had all the momentum coming into the water break in the second half. It was Templenoe that came back afterwards. Dermot mentioned it there a few minutes ago. Tom Sullivan's shot right there at the end where they got a point. They didn't score for the last 15 minutes otherwise. And to win the game, you're going to have to do better than that in the last quarter. So huge congratulations to Templenoe. Massive journey they've been on over the last decade, really. And for such a small rural place to win and be into the quarterfinals of the Kerry County Championship, great achievement. And I don't think they're finished yet.
Big question though is that blow to Adrian's plan, how serious that will be.
Yeah, he's out there in a tracksuit. I thought he looked like he was limping a bit. Adrian's made it tough stuff, and his club being in a county quarter final next weekend, I think it'll take a lot to stop him. He's a hardy buck, and I'd expect him to line out.
Okay, well, a remarkable game, lads. There's so much to talk through. From a Dingle perspective, they're just down here in front of us to come up short after the concession of 3 goals, Dermot, and then just lose out by a point.
Yeah, but it was in the concession of the 3 goals that the game was lost for Dingle, really, and especially the nature of the goals and the timing of them. To concede the 2 goals in the first half as soft as they did, and then really the third goal, which came out of nothing, gave Templenoe something to hang on to, and you could see that it gave them more encouragement and more spirit to defend with their lives, which they did there for most of the second half. And Dingle were kind of forcing it a little bit there towards the end of the game. We were attacking well, getting good scores right up to the water break, but as Eamon said there, after the water break, just nothing really functioned for us up front. We really struggled to get the scores. We had a couple of chances when it was a 1 point game to get it back to a draw, which with the conditions and with momentum you would have seen Dingle maybe pushing on for the win. But when they couldn't get that, it was that first point from Killeen Spillane. It took about 8 or 9 minutes after the water break. Whoever was going to get the first point in a 1 point game there was going to be huge, and Killeen got a great score for Templenoe, and it proved to be decisive.
Okay, you mentioned Killeen there, of course, great score from him. The other names that caught your eye tonight?
I was impressed with Adrian in the second half in particular, the way he drove on down through the middle of the field. He has that in him. He's very good when he goes direct like that, when he runs straight down through the middle. We saw him with Kerry last year doing a good bit of that. But in general, and Gavin Crowley played well, I thought. Brian Crowley in the first half, Josh Holland Crowley got a good goal there. In general, though, I was very impressed with Templenoe. Their work rate and their team spirit was huge throughout. They never let the head drop, even when Dingle came at them in the second half. And it was the conditions the way they were, it was never really going to be about outstanding individual performances, really, but it was just the way they stuck to their task, and they did themselves proud tonight.
Okay, you concur with all of those viewpoints, I'm sure, Eamon?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Templenoe, Dermot name-checked them there. I thought Tyg Morley and Gavin Crowley were very solid at the back. I thought their goalkeeper, Mark Looney, did very well. A couple of tough balls to deal with. He dealt well with them. Adrian Spillane, massive while he was on the field. Sean Sheehan complemented him very well, ran himself into the ground. Brian Crowley, excellent in the first half. Josh Crowley-Holland, excellent in the second half. And Killian Spillane, as lethal as he always is. And on the Dingle side then, I think a lot of the lads will be probably disappointed with their performances. I thought Matthew Flaherty played well throughout, really, as he always does, in all action display, and tried to keep the team in it. I thought when Barry came on, he was influential. Outside of that, I think a lot of the other lads would probably feel there was a bit more in them. Tom Sullivan was in and out of it. Paul Gainey was in and out of it. Good when they were in the game, but probably struggled maybe to have the impact that they would have liked to have had for Dingle to win the game. But massive achievement for Templenoe. Great game, very enjoyable, and like I said, depending on the way the draw goes now, they've got confidence, momentum. They have a massive spirit. They're good county championship side from the point of view they're so fluid. They're not dependent on specialists and positions. A lot of them can play in a lot of different positions, and with a good goalkeeper, it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
Okay, finally, just want to wrap up. You were in Austin Slack Park last night, Eamon. Diarmuid, we were just chatting there before, and you were watching on TV. Are Dr. Crokes still the club side to beat?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think after having come through that game last night for Dr. Crokes, it's going to be huge for them. They weren't overly impressive in the club championship in a lot of their games, but to get that win inside in Tralee against Stanks, missing two key players in Gavin White and David Shaw. I know Dahi Casey with Dahi's probably more of a long-term injury out as well, so if they can get Gavin and David back in for the next round, they're definitely looking good. Tony Brosnan was outstanding last night for them, and to kick 2-10 in the championship game is unheard of, really. And with a forward of Tony's calibre there, they're still going to be a threat. We were just talking about it coming in, myself and Eamon there, the way that they can, I know that they conceded a 5-point lead there, they gave that up in the last few minutes, which would be unusual for them, but the way they squeezed the win out in extra time was very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely, Diarmuid, and I think Crokes will be strong, but I still think it's hard to look beyond these Kerry. The only question mark you'd have over them is if they will have the same hunger and desire this year to do it, and regardless of how good you are, you need that hunger and desire. But the fact that Rathmore have gone in with them, they've actually strengthened them even more. And again, depending on the draw, depending on keeping all your top players fit, but East Kerry probably are a bit out on their own at the moment, but the rest of the teams are quite even, and there could be a shock or two in store as well. But it's hotting up, and it's an enjoyable county championship so far.
Okay, Eamon, thank you so much for joining us. Diarmuid as well. Jack and Raf were our technical team here, and thanks to everyone back at base as well. That is where we're going to have to leave it here from Dingle. The rain has gone. The tears, though, will belong to the host club tonight, as they were shocked by the first timers. Templenoe, and celebrations continuing, as you can see in the stand right across from us here. They'll be heading back on the long road home back towards Templenoe and Kenmare tonight, and they'll be smiling all the way. That is where we're going to have to leave it. Our thanks to the Kerry County Board for their assistance in making tonight's broadcast possible. And don't forget as well, if you're following the hurling, tomorrow night on the Irish Examiner live stream service, it is UCC and Immakilly, the county champions, making their first appearance of 2020. Will it be another divisional side winning big in Cork hurling this year? That's where we're going to leave it. Thank you so much indeed.